All right. Got an example here, choosing the correct filing status. We're going to see a lot of these questions in the exam, so make sure you are quite familiar with how to answer these. Let's say that Jane is a single taxpayer with 2 dependent children. Her gross income for the year is $55,000. She's wondering if she should file as single or head of household. Now, head of household, that's going to be a more preferential tax status. But what is the correct status? She can't just claim that if she doesn't qualify for it. To determine the correct filing status, Jane needs to consider a few factors such as her marital status, household composition, meaning are there dependents, children, anything like that, and income. In this case, Jane's not married, but Jane has 2 dependents, and her gross income is below the threshold for the head of household filing status. Any thresholds, anything like that you need to memorize, we will have included on the lessons in the resources. Here are the requirements for the head of household filing status. The taxpayer must be unmarried or considered unmarried on the last day of the year. Lastly, the household composition. The taxpayer must have paid more than half the cost of maintaining a household for a qualifying person. A qualifying person could be a child, parent, or other relative who has lived with the taxpayer for more than half the year. Again, this will come later on in our lesson. We'll talk about the criteria for those. In this case, since Jane meets all the requirements for the head of household status, she is unmarried and has 2 dependents. By filing as head of household instead of single, Jane will likely qualify for lower tax rates and a higher standard deduction. That's more preferential there. Make sure you understand and you know what is the order, what is more preferential if you have the choice of choosing such a status. Some tricks here that could indicate a different tax filing status. If Jane were married, she would not be able to file as head of household unless she met certain criteria, such as living apart from her spouse for the last 6 months of the year. And dependents, if Jane had only 1 dependent, she would not be able to file as head of household unless she met certain criteria, such as providing more than half the cost of maintaining the household for the dependent. A couple other things there. Make sure we have those down and you'll do just fine. Hey there! Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material? We'll do it together. Tap into the power of CPA.examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started, so why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.